Hi, everyone. This is Sunny, and welcome to my podcast. I'm a spiritual coach, and I talk about spiritual practices to transform yourself from a mind, body, and soul perspective with the power of unconditional self love. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, that I'll be talking about lower vibrations, right? So, what exactly is the cause of all those lower vibrations of pain, hatredness, vengeance, jealousy, comparison, validation, disrespect, blame, shame, regret? The real cause is having fears or worries. I will talk about that. I will explain that to everyone who is watching me on this video. Okay. So that we understand why those worries and fears are always going to be there, but there's always a way to fight them. That's what we see in a lot of commercials as well, a lot of advertisements. Uh, we can defeat our fears, right? And do whatever we want to do and become free, right? I'm not sure, probably, back in the days we used to see all those kind of commercials, well, anyways. But there are two categories that I want to define fears or worries into, okay? The first category talks about the fears or worries that we get are from something that is going on in our lives. And the second category is something which is not associated with our lives, but it's going on in the world. Okay. So let me give you an example, that could actually define the first category. So, for example, we are going through some kind of health issues or financial issues, or probably, you know, we are single, right? And we want to get married, and we are not able to get, the right prospect or the right partner, right? In relationships, right? We are always feeling disrespected, right? We are not getting respect from our kids. We are not getting respect from our community. We are not getting respect from our friends, right? And those kind of things that are really happening in our lives. Okay. So that's the first category that I talked about. Second category is all about wars happening in the world, right? Um, Political issues, inflation, right? Job market not good, right? And so on and so forth, right? Those are external factors. Those are really not happening in our lives at all. Okay. But we get worries and fears from all those different categories that I talked about, don't we? We do, right? I went through all those kind of things for 20 long years, not just in one area of my life. I would say every area of my life kept me in fears and worries, right? I was a type 2 diabetes at the age of 30. That made me so fearful that I'll not be able to overcome or transform myself into something that I can control my type 2 diabetes properly. Okay. And then I was able to transform myself after a very long time by starting intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting is a discipline in my life. Then I was fearful about or worried about my relationships, right? I'm a divorced person, so I went through a divorce and always worried about, hey, whether I'm gonna have a family or not, right? Whether I'm gonna find the right partner or not. I want to get married again, definitely, because I've healed myself now and I understand the entire spiritual principle why those things would happen, because those things will only and only happen to give us some kind of lesson, and in case we are able to learn a lesson and we are able to develop a kind of character wherein we forgive and accept our past the way it was and move on and heal ourselves, then we are ready for a new relationship, okay, with complete healing, right? So I transform myself emotionally. And that's why I keep saying in my videos that now I go on my respect, because I respect myself. So I, even though, everybody else around me would like to give me respect, but I'm not attached to it. Okay. Now, again, in my finances, went through financial losses, went through job losses. I was doing a very big contract in Ireland, which was paying me around 150,000 euros per year, right? Which is a very good pay here, right? So I lost that contract, and after that contract, I wasn't able to get another contract for 1.5 years or so, and I was jobless, right? I went through that kind of time as well. So that created a lot of worries, a lot of anxieties, and those all situations will keep going on and on until we come to know that these are just an illusion that we have created. So those are mind stories that your mind is telling you all the time, that this is going to happen, that it's going to happen, but nothing is going to happen, really and truly. The universe is, giving you a signal. The God, the divine, is giving you a signal that this is the time to transform yourself mentally and emotionally and level up. Okay. So when I started detaching myself from everything, from relationships, from whatever outcomes I'm going to get from my intermittent fasting and my workout, from whatever I'm earning right now, it cleared up my thoughts in such a way and reprogrammed my thoughts in such a way that it calmed down my emotions. And then I was able to control my emotions with all those kind of principles that I talk about, which are based on spirituality of peace, love, forgiveness, non-judgmental, self-worth, self-respect, patience, abundance, and compassion. And here I am. I still have worries, I still have fears, but I know how to win over that, right? Well, anyways, all those different motivational speakers, they talk about, different areas, okay? There would be a fitness guru who will be talking about fitness, and, that's how you can transform yourself physically. And the, entrepreneurs will be talking about more in terms of how you can think better about money, what kind of money mindset we can have. And the relationship gurus would be talking about from the relationship point of view. But what I want to talk about is for everything. Mind, body, and soul, the foundation that we can create with the help of spirituality to completely transform ourselves. Okay. And this foundation, once created, and whenever we step into the first phase of those transformations and we pass on, then it becomes a discipline in our lives. So my discipline would be, I will do my meditation every day. I'll go to the gym every day. I'll cook my food every day, right? I'll eat once a day, right? I'll be highly focused in my job. I'll be growing in terms of my skills by coming in front of the camera and talking like this. Okay. So why is it happening? Because I'm able to come over those fears or worries that I was getting all the time in all of my areas. Right. So what are the repercussions of those worries and fears? What exactly happens after that? If we keep worrying or, keep getting fears about certain things in our life, what it means spiritually is we are giving those kind of situations, those illusions, or those stories that have never happened, a kind of an energy, right? Which will then turn that illusion into a reality. Let's say, we keep fearing about or keep worrying about, hey, we need to be careful on the road. Yes, that's okay. We got to be careful on the road. But if that thought keeps coming onto your mind that we got to be careful on the road, and you never know that you might, you know, experience an accident, right? So, and if you keep giving energy towards that, then it might happen. If you keep worrying about a job, that your job is not stable, you might lose your job, it might happen because you're continuously worrying about it. You're continuously giving energetic, signals all the time. Okay, your frequency is like that to the universe. If you keep worrying about, hey, the new person that I've met, that I want to know in and out, I'm not sure, she's not responding or he's not responding. So I have a fear that that person can leave me. So, then we lose our control on ourselves and we start chasing, start looking for validation. Okay. If we have felt a lot of times disrespected in our lives, and then what we do is we have a fear or a worry that, if I don't do people pleasing, then nobody would give me respect. Okay. And those kind of worries and fears attract other lower vibrations, and then we keep doing the same kind of thing. Okay. So why do we do it? What's the spiritual reason behind it? Okay. The spiritual reason behind it is that we are looking for external fulfillment rather than internally fulfilling ourselves by unconditionally loving ourselves. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is we are trying to chase love rather than loving ourselves. We are trying to chase respect rather than respecting ourselves. Okay. We are worrying about a job rather than looking inwards and thinking about learning something new to get a better job. We are complaining about all the things rather than, stop worrying about the things which are out of our control. Okay. So it's a simple thing that I coach, people about. The things that are in our control, let's start working on that. The things which are not in our control, stop worrying about that. Okay? Because worry in any which ways is not useful. Simple. When we get in that loop of thoughts, and those thoughts are something, they never stop because we get 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day, and we don't even know how to pay attention towards that. So that's why, I always keep saying meditation is the best discipline that we can integrate into our lives. So I teach the meditation, which is based on ancient Hindu meditation practice, which is power of silence, that helped me to transform myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. The universe is really and truly knocking at your soul's door with the, when you get those worries or anxieties or fears, and telling you this is a time for you to level up. This is a time for you to grow emotionally and mentally. This is a time for you to transform yourself by reprogramming your mind, your subconscious thoughts. This is the time for you to start looking for solutions or answers. But we never do that. We never do that. Why? Because we keep worrying about things, and we will keep worrying about things until we come on to the point where we get completely stuck, because we are egoistic, right? We have that identity, oh, I can take care of everything. I don't want anybody's help because I'm self-sufficient. Right? That ego, right? That was the same thing in me as well. And then when I started looking for answers, I got the answers. I went through a lot of spiritual, teachings, a lot of spiritual practices that I started following by following different kind of gurus. And that gave me a different kind of result altogether. Right? So, and that's what I want to share with my audiences here. Psychologically, what it means, scientifically, right? Again, thoughts. We don't pay attention to it. That's why we keep saying mindfulness, meditation. So it's a story that we are creating all the time. Oh, if she doesn't talk to me, then I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, she hasn't texted me since last 2 days. Oh, my sugar levels are not going down. My finances are not doing that great. I don't know what's going to happen after a month's time. We throw our entire energy towards those kind of worries and we forget about ourselves. We forget about what are going to be the next steps that we got to follow in order to come over those problems. Because those thoughts do not give us any kind of mental calmness. And then those thoughts start creating those kind of different energies or emotions or vibrations. And then we get stuck in the loop, right? So now the real solution in order to transform ourselves from all those worries or fears. First thing, be disciplined. Be highly disciplined in terms of your mental and emotional health, and that can only and only happen with the power of meditation. Any kind of meditation you want to do. In case if you want to reach out to me as well for the kind of meditation that I teach, I'll be more than happy to help you with that. But any kind of meditation you want to do, you can follow that. Okay. But do not look for a temporary solution, because the temporary solution will never give you long-lasting results. Okay. That's one of the disciplines, because this will help you then to pay attention towards your thoughts, to be at the present moment, and start catching your thoughts which are really causing those kind of worries or fears. Okay. And once we get into that discipline, we start reprogramming our minds with the principles of spirituality that I talked about, or any other principles that you want to follow, right? Because what I talked about is from a mind, body, and soul perspective. I'm talking about a total transformation. I'm not talking about in one area. As I mentioned earlier, we got different motivational speakers for different things, right? There would be financial motivation speakers. There would be, physical fitness gurus and all that kind of stuff, right? But they're doing their job and they're also telling you about all those spiritual principles in a different way. But they're following spirituality. Do you know about that? They're following spirituality. Spirituality is what? To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Okay? So, if you become fearless, you start achieving better results. Simple. And then we can also use certain mantras or affirmations by saying certain things, like whenever you're able to pay attention towards your thoughts and you feel like that you are getting that kind of little bit of anxiety or fear or worry, you can say, these worries, these fears are good for me as they are here to level up my soul. Thank you, God. Thank you, the Creator. Thank you, the universe. And see the transformation that will happen after 2 or 3 minutes. Right? But this is a repetitive thing that you got to do. Because I got a chance to do all those repetitive things every now and then, right? And so does everyone. We got time. We got enough time, right? But if we think we can distract ourselves from those fears or worries and focus about something else, not to think about those fears or worries, I think then what's going to happen is once you get into the older age, they will become a volcano and they will erupt, unfortunately. And then you will not be able to control it. It's better to control at the right time by looking for the right solutions. And that's why people like us go through all those kind of different things in our lives so that we could bring that kind of light to everyone who really needs it. Okay? Because always remember what you are is what you're going to get. This is Sunny signing off. Take care.